Welcome to Red and Black TV. I'm your host, Stas, co-host Banana, panel heads, Azar, Boz. It's been a while, lads. What's going on?
What's going on, boys?
Not much, bro. Locked up in our cages, man.
Can't move, can't do anything.
Standard procedures. Gladys has got us on lockdown. All right, let's get straight to it, boys. Obviously, transfers are a big thing that we want to touch on with tonight's little Skype call. And I'm just going to go straight into it. Let's get into our signing Hamed from Wellington Phoenix. What are your thoughts, boys?
You go first, Dos.
Yeah,
you
go
first.
Well, look, with me, the way I see it, it's a pretty ballsy signing by the Wanderers to sign a player, who's an Israeli international. Obviously, there was some heated events in regards to him and his celebrations last season with the conflict that was going on over in Palestine. So considering like our club is such a multicultural fan base, it is a ballsy move from our clubs to sign something like that. But in my eyes, personally, politics should be kept completely out of football. You know what I mean? So I feel like we need to let him, prove himself. You know what I mean? And if he's clinical, scoring goals on the field, I've got no problem with his signing. You boys?
I'll go. I'm 100% with Stas when it comes to leaving politics out of football. There's no place for politics in football, man, especially in this country. But let's rewind it back. When we look at the player, who brought the politics into football first? Obviously him, right? He's brought in his goal celebration during a sensitive, fragile time, during the middle of a conflict. So he's brought the politics into football first. So we need to completely understand the backlash here, number one. Number two, if there's people out there that say, don't bring the politics into this transfer, everyone has the right to say, wait a second, he brought the fucking politics into this first, right? So let's get that straight. Now, when we look at why it's so controversial is because, in the middle of a conflict or a war that's been going on for so many years, right, to be so arrogant and immune to the whole situation where there could have possibly been a lot of Palestinians at the games he played at, right? So how for him to completely disregard those people and rub the Israeli flag in their faces with every goal he scored, it wasn't just one time. It went over 2 or 3 weeks, right? For him to make a stance like that is a big fuck you to it's a big finger to all the Palestinians, man. You don't do that. They're people are dying over there. They're being oppressed. And you come where football should be a place where you get away from all your problems, right? Yeah. Who knows how many Palestinians probably said, you know what, let's go down to the soccer and fucking put all this behind us and get our minds off it. And they go to the sport, they go to the soccer and see that shit, and it brings all that back. Man, that's just it wasn't on. It was a very arrogant move on his half. Especially, you know what, if it was in the Israeli league, in his home country, by all means. But you're playing in a multicultural country, man. You're playing in New Zealand, you're playing in Australia. You know what I mean? It's such a vast variety of cultures and people. You can't just go do that, man. Just, and I know that upset a lot of people. I had Sydney FC fans coming up to us after our last podcast and said, man, we were really upset by his celebration and we stand by what you guys saying. So coming back to signing him, I think it's a really ballsy move. It's a gutsy move. And, during times where our membership numbers have fallen so drastically, I just don't think it was the right transfer, because from looking at the comments and what people are saying, there's a big divide right now with this. And that's the last thing. It's the last thing we needed, man. Our club's in a spiral right now. And when the club had to get all their fans on board and move together and ask for our support, they've made this one controversial transfer and it split everyone apart, man. So I think it was the wrong move by the club, if you ask me.
The way I see it, Boz, is I agree with everything you guys said. 100%, I agree with it. It's I just want to start off with saying that I think the FFA needs to have a blanket approach. It needs to be black or white. It's flags or no flags. You can't say we're going to allow Israeli flags, we're going to allow Mexican flags, but we're not going to allow Croat, Serbian flags, whatever. You can't do that, because that's where the issues rise. I get what Boz is saying 100%. I don't know if he was trying to antagonize people or it's the pride, because he's born in Israel. He's married to Miss Israel, like 2008, whatever. So, but you're right. Like, it is Australia. So as a result, I just think the FFA, if the FFA is not going to do it, I think our club should do it, especially to protect our members. No flags. Simple as that. Because like you said, you know, we don't want to see half the stadium having Israeli flags and half the stadium having Palestinian flags and just have a massive divide. We can't do that. And
let's be honest here, but let's be honest here, man. Surely, okay, in his mind now, he's thinking, you know what, I'm going to a club now, a new club, Western Sydney Wanderers, and I'm sure he's seeing all this backlash now throughout, you know, Instagram or whatever else. You know, if he's smart, okay, he's obviously going to think about how he does his celebrations and whatnot if he wants to win over all the fans at Western Sydney Wanderers in my eyes. True?
Yeah.
True.
But he's probably thinking, oh, I'm not gonna go away from my beliefs and my faith. But that's where he's wrong, right? And I have no problem with supporting your country and saying what you want, but not on the pitch, man. On the pitch, you leave that out. And I have no problems with players, wrapping flags around them. I watched the Argentina game this morning, right? And all the players had the flags around them. That's cool, bro. When you're playing for an international team, when you're at the Euros, you're in your Copa America, wherever you are, man, carry all the flags you want. But you're doing it in a domestic game in the middle of a conflict. There was no reason for you to do that. All right. So if he's lost a lot of fans in this league, or if a lot of our Wanderers fan base is upset about this song, mate, I'm 100% on board with them. I completely understand. And it's going to be interesting how this all unfolds, man.
There's one way to solve it. There's literally one way to solve it. Don't bring flags. Like, if they don't bring flags.
Yeah, but Azza, he's done it already.
Yeah.
The damage is done, bro. Right. I'm reading comments saying.
I'm pretty sure they stopped it towards the back end of the season of them bringing in flags. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think he went for 3 or 4 rounds. I think he went for 3 or 4 rounds before they said
it was
something.
around for a while. Yeah. But for me, personally, I'm pretty sure I said it before in our last podcast when it was thrown up in the air. If it will take him, and I know most of you boys said no. I said yes.
No, I'll take him.
I'm just minus all the bullshit, all the political bullshit, throw that all to the side. As a player-wise, I will take him, and he's banging away goals. Let's just hope he can bring those goals to us as well.
But there's no disputing his quality. Like 11 goals in 21 games. Like it's a good.
He's a great footballer. No one's questioning his footballing ability here. It's it's the decisions he's made in regard to bringing politics into the sport. Great footballer, man.
Yeah. Do you believe that a player of his caliber and the way he plays, because obviously he's more of a target man, is he going to fit into our system? That's a big question.
Well, did Duke succeed in this system?
I'll say no.
He's a similar player. He's a target man. I don't think we got the best out of him, not because of his. He struggled not because of his ability. I believe it's the system we played. It's not an attacking system. It's based on defense. So I know he's a great footballer, but is he going to succeed in the system that Carl Robinson has? I believe no. I believe his goal ratio will be much lower than what it is now, not due to his ability, but due to the way we play, man. And that's disappointing.
Yeah.
So, I'd agree with that. All right, let's not continue too much more with Hammond. Let's go into a couple of players that have gone out now at the moment. And obviously the big one's Bruce Kamau. He's gone off to Greece to Offie and Crete. Boys, I'm pretty disappointed with that. Obviously, considering he was off contract, free agent, so the club obviously hasn't made any sort of money out of our best player from last season. What do you think?
That's the problem there. What you're saying now, they've let him go on a free when we could have made a little bit of money. Brought some money into the club and spent it on a decent player. But no, we've let him. She named him your player of the year. I'm pretty sure I dropped it in as soon as it was posted on bloody Instagram. I said it 2 weeks, 3 weeks later. They'll be saying farewell to Bruce Kamau.
Yeah.
Here it is. It's gone. But I've got no problem that he's going. It's a problem that they haven't made anything of it.
But you say that, Banana, like we're the first to criticise the club, but like personally, I just got the sense that Kamau wanted to try overseas. I think he did. And like I agree, the club shouldn't have left it to the last minute and for him to stand out to get him out on a free. 100%, we should have got like $500,000 for him, whatever. But if you're Kamau, and the club's put your contract in there, are you going to sign that contract, which means it's harder for you to go overseas, where a club has to spend money, or are you going to stall with Western Sydney so it's easier for you to go overseas?
What the Wanderers should have done is said, Bruce, midway through the season, right, when he started performing, because it wasn't just a 1-2 games, he was consistent throughout the season. So halfway they should have set him down and say, Bruce, we want to tie you up for 2 years, 3-year contract, right? But in the contract, we'll put in a clause that if a European club wants to buy you, we'll let you go. Now, I know what you're going to say, Azza, that he doesn't want to tie himself up. But what the club could have said is, this is also securing your future in case there's no deals that come through in Europe.
True.
So if nothing comes out of Europe, and if you have to stay in the A-League, we want to be the team that you play for. Yeah. So they could have done something like that where, if an offer came, he was off. But if he stayed, he could have kept playing for us, and that way we could have maybe made 300, 400, 500,000. Who knows? I'm sure there's a German Division 2 team that could have gave 300K to us, and we could have invested that back in the club. So if it comes down to my opinion, I think it's poor management. We let his contract run out, and it's just one that got away for free, man. Our best player of the year got away for free. Doesn't sound right, does it?
Not free.
For free, man.
Obviously, there's another player that's gone out the door as well, Dorrans. What are your thoughts on Dorrans going out the door, boys? Obviously, he's left on supposed compassionate leave.
I'm not surprised he left. I think pretty sure it was only a 1-year deal anyway. Come to try it out, come to see what Australia's like, and he's out, gone.
Yeah, no big loss.
Big nights at the Fiddler and out the door.
Yeah. I think what you find with these British players is they get homesick really, really quickly. In other sports, we can see teams that are having the same issues. Canberra Raiders comes to mind. I know we don't talk about rugby league, but they signed 3 or 4 English players, and they all. I'm just talking about the situation here. They all left homesick, so there was a bit of issues there. So I think signing English players, especially the ones over 30 years old, where they just want to kind of relax with their family. Maybe not signing them is the better path to go, man.
Fix was it's just short term sort of thing.
Yeah.
We need to find players that are obviously going to commit for a longer period and actually want to come over here to play football, not just come over here for a holiday, back into the career and whatnot. So
that's the stuff with us. Like it's like with the whole league. It's like, do you sign a 35-year-old who's going to play here for 3 seasons, or do you sign a youngster who's going to play for 3 seasons then move on? Like the fact is, we're a feeder league. We can't we just got to accept where we are.
Why can't we copy the same model that Melbourne City have? If you look at their signings, man, who they got? Naboot. They brought Naboot back. Now Naboot was
he's on the bench.
He's 25, 26. Well, he was in and out of the squad. They brought McLaren. Yeah. Now, how old's McLaren, man? He must be around the 30, 31. So
he's in his 29, I think.
29. Well, there you go. When you look at their squad, man, I watched them in the final. They're all young, man. It's a young squad. So I think if anything, that's the model we need to copy, man. They didn't sign players for 1 year for a quick fix.
Hey, boss, did you notice in the final that they had none of the main players that got him through the season? They didn't have Naboot on them. They didn't have no one. What's his name? No one. What he called?
Moon?
They had the youngsters. They had the Masso, the other bloke.
Yeah,
he's the names off the top of my head now, but they ran the show, bro. They're gonna run the show next season, man. So I don't know why we can't do like that.
But it's boys. That's what a good system does, right? I'll tell you something. I had a friend. He was coaching an under-12s team in Turkey. He went over to Spain for the largest European under-12s team, and he goes, I was watching the final, and Atletico Bilbao was up 1-0 at half-time, their under-12s team. At half-time, the coach subbed 11 players off, 11 players on, and they won the second half 1-0 as well. Now, that comes down to having a great system that everyone can just come in and do their role. So, that's what Melbourne City's shown this year. Yeah. Despite who's been in that starting 11, the way they play is so positive, man. Whoever comes into the squad does their job, and they're always and they've won the title.
It's funny, you say look at other clubs, like even if it's going to sound slack to us and shit, but if you look at MacArthur, bro, they've got De Villa, De Silva, and Noon. That's their last three signings.
That's massive signing, boys. That's massive signings, man.
Badly. That's a team that made finals. So like the players are out there. Like it's just up to our owners to like sell Western Sydney. And
honestly,
pretty sure Urich is on his way there as well.
Forget being the best team in Sydney. Like I said, I don't think we're the best team in the West at the moment, man. A team has come in one season and put our management, our club on show. That's exactly how they should have done it. The whole league knew that De Villa from Wellington was a great player, but they went out there. They were being proactive and signed him for next season. That's what our club does not do, bro. And that's where we've been failing for the last 5 years. We haven't been proactive.
Everyone to pick up the main course, and we'll just pick up the scraps at the end of the day, which is shit.
Yeah, man, that's what it is, bro.
Right. But as a player, like, why would you come to us? Like, honestly, as bad as it sounds, like you'd go to Sydney FC than us as a player.
Who's this?
Wasn't that Burgess from Western United? He was meant to come on his way here, then he's done a U-turn, gone down east.
Yeah.
You look where we.
But if MacArthur can sign De Villa, I don't know why Wanderers can't sign him.
Money.
You know what I mean? Well, we should be throwing that money as well, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Sure.
How about Traore, boys? Thoughts on Traore?
Yeah, it's Traore.
Good
signing.
Good signing.
I feel like he's tried to shore up that left back position and bring in some experience, because obviously he had a couple of younger players playing in rotation in that position. I think he's just trying to get the back line sorted, man, pretty much.
So are we done with the whole academy experiment?
It's looking like it. What's going to happen now with the Aquilina and Wilmer? He played Wilmer on that side, left side as well,
Sometimes right. It's left. I can't see him being done. I can't see him throwing away. But like, as a coach, it's his last year. Like if Robertson stuffs up this season, he's gone. So are you going to rely on like a 19-year-old kid, or are you going to rely on a proven Traore?
Bro, he should have came in at the start of last year, said this club hasn't won for 4 or 5 years. I can't risk playing these kids. This club needs success and it needs it short term. And he should have been doing that last year. We went through a whole year of experimenting, man. And that's another year that's killed us, bro.
I just see rotation. Traore, Aquilina rotation. That's all I see. You don't want to throw Aquilina away and say, nah, because it's a waste of a year.
But is Troy a player you rotate, bro? He won't be happy with that, bro.
He was rotation history, I think.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah.
It's all hypotheticals at the end of the day. We'll see when the season kicks in what actually happens.
We've got to see with the FFA Cup first, see if we have a team.
Oh, well, hopefully we dabble into that. But I don't know what's the we're going to do a live watch along if possible, and clearly do it. But
I'll find out where we can live stream it on, and we'll get something going, bro.
Might have to be at Jervis Bay.
Yeah, Jervis Bay. We'll do the Jervis Bay. We'll do it on the stage.
All right, boys, we'll call it a wrap. Much love. You know the gig. Like, subscribe, comment. Much love. Free to read them back.
Coming home, boys. Football's coming home.